The icy waters of the Arctic have swallowed many secrets, but none so haunting as the fate of Sir John Franklin and his 129 men. Two proud ships, bristling with supplies and confidence, sailed into the frozen unknown and never returned. What happened in those silent wastes has puzzled investigators for nearly 2 centuries, and the clues that remain paint a story both tragic and chilling. I am Arthur, and today we explore the mystery of Franklin's lost expedition, a tale where ambition met the unforgiving Arctic, and where the remains whisper of desperation, survival, and silence beneath the ice. When Franklin set out, his mission seemed destined for triumph. His 2 ships, HMS Erebus and HMS Terror, were marvels of their time, fitted with reinforced hulls, coal-powered engines, and enough provisions to last years. The goal was to finally conquer the elusive Northwest Passage, the shortcut between Europe and Asia that had consumed explorers for generations. Admirals believed this mission would end in glory. Instead, it vanished into legend. At first, optimism reigned. Letters from the early stages of the voyage spoke of progress and confidence. But as the ships pushed deeper into the labyrinth of ice, nature revealed its merciless power. For 2 years the vessels lay trapped, unable to break free from the crushing flows. Supplies dwindled, illness spread. The men grew weaker as the Arctic's endless night closed around them. But the reality behind this story is even more fascinating, and darker still. Later investigations uncovered evidence that the very provisions meant to keep the crew alive may have doomed them. The tinned food, a new invention at the time, was sealed with lead solder. That poison seeped slowly into their meals, causing confusion, weakness, and madness. Imagine being stranded in the freezing emptiness, with your mind betraying you bite by bite. As desperation mounted, the survivors abandoned their ships. Inuit oral histories, passed down through generations, describe gaunt figures dragging sledges across the snow, their strength ebbing away with each step. And scattered remains discovered later confirmed the horror of their march. Boots frozen into the ice, buttons from naval coats, and bones bearing marks that hinted at grim decisions made when hunger became unbearable. The truth behind this tragedy, however, is still incomplete. Why did trained sailors, equipped with advanced technology, fail so completely? What forced them to abandon 2 seaworthy ships? And why do the recovered bodies, eerily preserved by the cold, still hold unanswered questions in their frozen expressions? Even now, the story refuses to rest. In recent years, the wrecks of Erebus and Terror were finally found, astonishingly intact beneath the Arctic waters. Their discovery raised new mysteries. Why were they so far south of their expected course? And what final orders were given before the crews disappeared into the white void? But to grasp the full weight of Franklin's lost expedition, we must dig deeper into the haunting evidence, the preserved bodies and the whispers carried by the ice. Because the true story of what happened on that voyage is not just about exploration, it's about how quickly civilization can unravel when faced with nature's merciless hand. The first bodies were found decades later on Beachy Island, where 3 sailors lay buried in the permafrost. Their faces, remarkably preserved, seemed almost asleep. But beneath their stillness, examinations revealed traces of scurvy, pneumonia, and lethal amounts of lead in their bones. These men became symbols of the expedition's suffering, frozen messengers carrying grim warnings across the centuries. Further south, searchers uncovered even more disturbing signs. Skeletons scattered along the coast told of a desperate retreat, men dying in small groups as they tried to drag supplies across impossible terrain. Some bones bore cut marks, suggesting that in the most desperate hours, the survivors may have turned to the unthinkable. Whether this was fact or speculation, the very possibility cast a shadow that clung to the legend of Franklin's voyage. Yet among the darkest discoveries lies one of the most haunting. In 1859, a single note was found hidden in a cairn, written in 2 hands. The first entry, calm and optimistic, reported that all was well with the expedition. But a year later, on the same sheet, another message told a different story. Franklin dead, ships abandoned, and 105 survivors attempting to march south. Between those 2 entries lies the turning point from hope to catastrophe. What makes this tale even more remarkable is how it was preserved not by the British Empire, but by the Inuit people. Their oral histories spoke of ghostly ships drifting in the ice, of men stumbling southward, starving and ill. For decades, these testimonies were dismissed by Western investigators, yet modern research has confirmed that the Inuit accounts were astonishingly accurate, offering some of the best clues about what truly happened. And then came the discoveries of our own time. In 2014 and 2016, underwater archaeologists located both HMS Erebus and HMS Terror, preserved in the Arctic seabed like time capsules. Cabins lay eerily intact, dinner plates still stacked neatly on shelves, and the ship's wheel standing silently in place. These ghostly wrecks offered both answers and new mysteries. Why had the ships been sailed and abandoned multiple times? And who made the final decisions that sealed the men's fate? The Franklin expedition remains one of history's most chilling riddles. It is a reminder that exploration is not just triumph and discovery. It is also risk, fragility, and the thin line that separates order from collapse. Franklin's men set out to claim the Northwest Passage for empire and glory. Instead, they left behind a cautionary tale written in ice, silence, and bones. And perhaps that is why their story still grips us today. Because beneath the banners of exploration lies a deeper truth. Nature always has the final word. So, when you think of Franklin's expedition, ask yourself, what truly happened in those last desperate hours? Were the men victims of poisoned food, ruthless weather, or their own choices under unbearable pressure? The Arctic may never surrender all its secrets, but its silence is enough to keep the mystery alive forever.